tell me the first one. Allow voters who are changing their address within a county to submit information by email with a scanned signature. Expound on that just a little bit more.
Senator, that's all I have is was the summary that Takio had sent to me. Do we have anybody from represents Takio here?
Is anyone here?
Okay.
You know, we want in one minute we want a birth certificate and want to know if you still have your livers and kidneys, and now you're going to let them scan their signature.
Senator Harper, let's go into recess real quick, and we'll hear from the coordinator.
Okay. Kara Har, I'm an attorney in the election office. This is dealing with, Section 1 is only dealing with individuals that are changing their address, excuse me, changing their address within the county. So this is just someone who's updating their address within the county. And we would, right now, you can do that by mail or in person. And this would allow them to do that by email with a scanned signature. And then we can check that scanned signature against the signature that we have on file. That's Section 1. And then Section 3 is dealing with absentee ballots, and that's, again, only allowing them to make a request for the absentee ballot by mail. Currently, that's done, again, by fax or by mail, and this would allow them to only make that request. So the ballots, as Senator Ketron said, would still be sent out through the mail. This is only the request portion.
Okay, and then you're changing the time also for provisional ballots. Is that right? So one could...
In Section 5,
Yeah.
currently the law says the second Monday after the election, and, well, currently we count the ballots within 48 hours, but the coordinator has the authority to extend that out to the second Monday. And yes, they would be extending this out to the third Monday, which would give us a little bit more time to verify provisional information when we need to after an election.
I guess I'll go back to one.
Okay.
I have a little bit of concern when you scan signatures.
Well, we would still have to compare it to the signature that we have on file, and if it didn't match, then they wouldn't, you know, they'd have to send them a letter saying it didn't match, and they could then come in, or they could do it by fax if we could verify it by fax versus the scanning. So we would still attempt to match it up, and it would only be allowing an individual who, again, is changing within the county. If they're moving from county to county, of course, it'd be an original.
So if I'm moving from my residence to a nursing home and I've had a stroke and my signature has changed my ability to write, then I've got to come in and show you that the signature is legitimate.
Well,
Yes.
I guess. Or another option for that, if you were going into a nursing home and you had a stroke, which would probably lead that you wouldn't want to go into the office to vote, you could also go through the permanent absentee registration list.
No,
where
I'm looking at this particular thing, changing your address. Just number one.
Right.
You change your address, and if it's not satisfactory to you.
Well, you wouldn't have to come in because you could still do it by fax. We currently allow it to be done either by fax or through the mail.
Talking about the signature change. If the signature, and you know, with some ailments, your signature changes.
Right. Well, that would apply with the current law too, because we allow the fax. So if you'd had a stroke currently and that didn't match up, I mean, we would need to take an extra step anyway currently in the law. If it's not going to match due to a stroke.
And what do you do if the person is not able to come in? Do you all send someone?
we cannot send someone out, but we could have them do we could have them write out the request, and that, you know, that there was an issue as far as the fact that there had been a stroke. I mean, if we had some type of doctor notice that had happened, then we can, you know, allow it that way. So, I mean, we'd have to take an extra step. I mean, it would kind of be
You all would take the extra step, not the voter. Is that right?
Well, we would have to have the voter take some extra step, whether that was to do it either through the mail, if that was an easier option, or to have a doctor's note saying, you know, this individual's had a stroke, or something along those lines. So we would require an extra step through the voter, whatever that would be, but the election office would take that step in order to assist the voter.
But that's something you all hadn't really thought about, had you? No.
No, I had not thought of the stroke victim, no.